Hey all, welcome to this sweet moment. And the topic that I feel to highlight some or shine some awareness on is the topic of emotions and sensitivity. And at least in this video, it's even more so directed to men, because just generally speaking, what I perceive is that the pattern, the behavior, I guess, the dynamic that I'm about to give some clarity on and describe here in this video, I see happening more within men. And so this is a challenge that, in generally speaking, men have more difficulties with overcoming. And what I feel one of the reasons that it's hard to overcome is because more often than not, we're not even seeing that this is the case. And here's what I mean. And I'm just going to generalizing in this video, just setting this as a disclaimer. But I feel this is the most powerful way to make my point clear. And the point is about a wisdom imbalance that manifests itself, shows itself, for example, when emotions are being triggered, or we just feel some intense energies that there's some initial resistance to. And I get that basically for all of us, we all experience heavy emotions, heavy feelings, and none of us, we all find it challenging to basically be with it, to somehow find a way to be free from them, for them to be released. So of course this is challenging for most of us, I think for all of us. And so again, the wisdom imbalance, what I mean is that is part of our conditioning is that when emotions are being triggered, is that then we activate an attitude within ourselves where we allow the intellect, or just being rational, being wise, taking wisdom approach, as a way to kind of, even though we don't mean it like that, but it's basically diminishing the emotions. It's like, it's almost like we want to rebalance it, or we want to soothe it, we want to soften it. But what really happens from my experience and working with people is that in most cases, it is a way of basically avoiding and suppressing emotions. And this is not to say that wisdom approaches are wrong, or that we shouldn't, feed our intellect and just nourish our capacity to be wise and to be rational. But it's about knowing when to apply certain practices, apply a certain approach or attitude, and when not. Like, it's to recognize when is it a way to avoid something, when is it a coping mechanism basically to suppress something, and when is it actually a nourishing energy where it is bringing about more stability and more balance and more clarity, more alignment in our whole being. So I've been noticing with myself, because I know myself as someone who's very sensitive for basically the majority of my life, and I found it very difficult to find a really effective way to deal with that. And even in going through the spiritual communities and the path of self-healing and becoming more conscious, more self-aware, more self-empowerment, even though there was in that whole transition, in that whole journey, there's so much more clarity and so much more expansion happening. Simultaneously, though, what was happening on a subconscious level is that all those insights and really profound, deep experiences and the wisdom that was maturing within me was also used by the mind to really to do that thing, to, let's say how to put this, it was used by my mind as a mechanism to do the thing which I was most scared about for the longest time, which I found the most difficult, and that was and is in a way to really allow emotions to arise when they're activated, when they're being triggered. And it really took me a while to see through that mechanism and to recognize it as something that is actually hindering my expansion into more freedom, because I always used to perceive that, you know, just kind of allowing the emotions to occur would somehow limit me or would make me feel more dense. And I'm sure there are a lot of men who can recognize this within themselves, that there is this almost like an instinctual resistance towards emotions, and we just want to, you know, be wise about it and be logical and, you know, understand them intellectually, which is great, which I love and I encourage. But at the same time, the point that I want to make here is to not do this when in the moment when the emotions arise, because what I've noticed in my journey, and especially with working with the inner child energies and allowing that state of being to be more part of my default natural way of being, what I've come to see at some point was in a moment where I would get really when an emotion was triggered, that almost automatically there was this like an energy or just expression within my consciousness that was almost like they just wanted to be wise about it. They just wanted to speak out a perception, a story, basically, as a way to suppress the emotion or to avoid it. And when I started recognizing that, I realized that actually having these approaches, being able to access this wisdom, even though in moments and in most moments it actually can allow me for more limitation, but that same approach can also I was going to say can allow me for more freedom, but that same approach can also cause the experience of being more limited when it is used as a coping mechanism to avoid or to not face certain expressions within ourselves. And I feel it is so valuable to be aware of this, to be mindful of this. And I really wasn't aware of this coping mechanism for the longest time. And what I noticed is that through allowing of the inner child energy, there was just more freedom, more space, I guess, within myself to really be fully present to whatever arises, to not label it as any story and not to not take it personal in a way. So just like kids maybe remember that when an emotion comes up, we would usually just fully be in it, and most of the time it was for a very short moment, maybe a few minutes, where we fully cry or we're just angry, like so angry with our whole being, and we experience that energy as very intense, but after that it is released. So it is kind of similar to that, where we are in a state where we can just allow the energy to flow, to move, to to just be released. And and when we have that in place, then also the wisdom approach is more in balance, because now it is not used as a way to avoid certain things. And this is, like I said, one way. This is one aspect of the liberation that can occur when we are allowing the inner child essence to be part of our energy state. And therefore, I would love to invite you, if you feel there's resonance to this, and this can be of service to your journey, then you can apply for a registration on a workshop. It's called the Embracing the Inner Child workshop, which is donation based, because it's a very it's kind of like a celebration to kick off certain projects which are just about to start, and this is like the first one of them. And I'll be doing this together with my good friend Dylan Hills. I'll put the link to his social media in the description. But so it is on the 7th and 8th May. It's like a group retreat, like a workshop of 2 days, which will be about 2 to 3 hours per day. Most likely early evening Central European time. And yeah, just wanted to hand you this out as a gift. We are super excited about that, and if you feel the excitement to be part of that, then you can just send me or Dylan a direct message, and we would be looking forward to see you there. All right, I'll just end it with this. Much love to you all, and see you in the next moment.